Hey, welcome to YOLO with ToLo. We're going to try this one more time. I'm going to see if I can actually get Toan in here without the echo. We reported this to Facebook, but I'm not sure why we keep having these issues. But whatever, so we'll see. How you guys doing? Hey, Timothy. Welcome back. Where's Toan? All right. Sorry about so hopefully when Toan comes on, I can not have the echo. And see what happens as soon as I can get him back in here. I don't know. But I'm in Atlanta today, enjoying some much needed downtime. It's been lovely. Okay. Maybe I lost one. I don't know. But anyway, we were going to talk about anxiety today. Lord, Facebook is giving me anxiety with this with these audio issues, but I'm grateful. How's the weather? The weather's great down here. I think Twan's coming on now. Kind of partly cloudy, but not too bad. 60s, much better than I had. Hello there, Toan. How are you, dog?
Hey, what's up? Okay, so the audio's better this time. Sorry, y'all. Facebook has been having issues going live. Cheers.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but it's like, yeah, cheers. Oh, I don't have any tea. Oh, well, that's all right.
Some tea.
I'm not going downstairs to get
okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm well. I am home. I'm always lovely when I'm at home.
I'm here in San Francisco as well. Hi, Timothy. I saw that you messaged and said, well, how's the weather where you're at? So here it's rainy and cold, and there's lots of flooding going on in the Northern California, San Francisco area. What about you, Lonnell?
It's been like partly cloudy here in the 60s. It's been nice, but we've had a lot of rain, so the rivers are high, and there is some flooding in the area. Just like all these crazy weather events.
Right.
But
yeah, it's crazy. So thank you, Timothy, for congratulating us on our 40th episode. Can you believe that it's been more than 40 weeks?
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
We had a couple of breaks.
And then we had a nice little break in there for the holiday.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while.
Right? And it's just like, it's so much joy chatting with you and then chatting with you guys at home. Because I really do feel like we are, we are kind of like a little tribe here. Timothy, it's cold in Chicago. How cold? Is it lots of snow?
Yeah, it's cold in Chicago. I was just up there a couple days ago. It was 20 degrees. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay. I was just in Chicago, and so were you recently, within the last few months. And then I was in New York. And hey, Auntie Pat. Yeah, it's been crazy. 23 degrees. That is not cute.
Yeah. And that's not even cold by Chicago standards. That's still disgusting. But I don't miss that, Timothy. Enjoy. I'll see you when it.
Dang, no, you didn't. Yeah, I get anxiety just thinking about that. Ooh, it's so cool. Because I'm a California boy. Grew up in my flip-flops here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no one. Yeah, and I've been working and living part-time in Chicago for like 12 years now, and I'm still like over it. I hate it. I still hate it.
The wind is so disrespectful. True that. Yes.
So disrespectful.
Yes. If you have wind gear on, it's not as cold and crazy. But if not, you better watch out. It's crazy.
No, that wind is brutal. It just makes everything 10 times worse.
Yep.
It does. It's just horrible.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, Kevin. So Kevin is our producer today. And thanks to all for watching. Let's get into segment 1, ToLo's topics. I love these, by the way. Boom, boom, boom.
Hey, Jane. I see you there.
Okay, so there, I know that the Oscars was just a few days ago, but there's still a lot of buzz going on. Did you watch?
I watched in part. It was on, and then I watched some segments or whatever. I caught some of the red carpet stuff. I caught a few of the speeches. I was asleep at the beginning, so I missed like Regina King getting her award. But thank God for the internet, because there's so many clips of everything.
Yeah, right.
So I was able to fill in the gaps with thanks to the online community.
Yeah. Timothy was like, "You still have all your posts? You know what? Post-it notes should sponsor our show." Just saying, and it's gonna happen one.
Just saying, he still has them from 40 weeks
Well,
ago.
anyway, so
ask me where mine are.
So I did watch. I did watch the Oscars, and I pre-recorded it so I can fast forward. Because I just hate watching the commercials. And a couple of the highlights for me was that, first and foremost, I didn't even realize there wasn't a host. So maybe I wasn't really paying that much attention.
Yeah, I didn't miss the host at all.
Me neither.
I didn't at all.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I didn't either. So I thought that was interesting. that I didn't even really notice that. So maybe it was well produced, but I saw the majority of it. And I guess one of my main kind of like aha, not aha, but like the wow moments was Remy Malek, who plays the main character Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. His speech was amazing. Did you watch that?
Yes, I did. He was amazing. And just, you could tell that he was like genuinely thrilled, and just so great. You can just tell when someone has a spirit of gratitude.
Yes.
And that's exactly what I got from him. There were a few highlights. I just loved that it was so diverse.
Yeah.
And you saw the representation from the Crazy Rich Asian cast. Just so many of the actresses, like the favorite. My only gripe was, which a lot of people have, was the Best Picture winner. I'm sorry, Green Book. Really, how many movies were nominated? 8. I think, right? That was the 8th of the 8.
Was that the one where the Roma was also up for the Oscar?
Yeah, Roma, Black Panther. I think the favorite.
I thought it was gonna be Roma or
all
Black
these
Panther.
Incredible movies.
Yeah, and
I'm not trying to discredit, Green Book, but I'm like, child, please. It was not. The performances in Green Book were good, but no.
Well, I haven't watched Green Book, but I did watch Black Panther, and that was awesome. And I watched Roma.
So beautifully done.
Yeah, and Roma, the cinematography was so amazing. Oh my god,
amazingly done.
Yeah. So going back to Remy Malek's speech, it was just so beautiful because he was just talking about, somewhere my story is being written. I mean, an immigrant myself, and I thought he was making a point without being too up in your face. So I thought that was really beautiful, and he just did an amazing performance. If you were to look at, Freddie Mercury's old performances, it was like super spot on. So I thought that was really like bone chilling. And then in terms of
and everybody in that category were amazing. If you saw their performances, they were. I forget the actor; they were amazing. The actor that did Vice, where he played Dick Cheney. Oh my God, he literally transformed into Dick Cheney.
Totally, I know.
So I was, that was.
I looked exactly like him. I saw some like posts, like I haven't seen the movie, but when I would see like Facebook, sponsored posts or whatever, or like articles, I'm like, oh my God, that so looks like Dick Cheney. That's so amazing, right?
Yeah, he literally transformed him. Not just, his mannerisms, his voice, everything. It was literally a transformation. I did not realize I was watching an actor.
Yeah.
But I say that to say, but then, all of the performances by the men were, and the women too, were just outstanding. I guess that's why they were best actors and actresses. But at least that was a robust category, and I don't think that there was a problem.
Yeah.
I didn't have an issue with that like I did with Green Book winning Best Picture.
Yeah. Well, did you have any issues with the Billy's dress? I think Timothy,
Billy Porter.
Yeah, Timothy's like Billy Porter and his dress. All that. He worked the red carpet. And then Jane was like,
what I love about Billy Porter and what I've loved about him over the years is that he has always been truly authentic. Yeah. He has been himself, and he doesn't care what anybody else thinks.
And he wore it with, the thing about fashion to me is, you may not like it, or I may not like it, or the critics may not like it, but it is how you wear it, and it is your confidence. And that boy was so confident in that dress.
Yeah, he owned it. He owned it. He just shut. He shut down the red carpet basically. It was like, wait, whoa, hold up. So there was a lot of chatter online. Some people thought, wow, this is so amazing. Other people thought, oh God. But that's what fashion is. That's what some people love it, some people hate it, like you said. But I thought he was just brilliant, just in the way he executed it. Because somebody else wearing the same outfit would not have necessarily gone at the same response.
Yeah, execution is key for sure. Dee is chiming in. Hey, Dee. And she's a producer in Hollywood. I'd love to see what you thought about Billy Porter's dress as well. But
because she had a lot of great clips from the red carpet. That's why I love watching Dee's Facebook page, because she's got different vantage points that we don't always see on camera. Yeah.
One thing I really appreciate.
So keep it up, Dee, girl. You always look smashing. You always got some fabulous gown out there slaying the show.
One thing I loved about his sort of flair is that, men, you go to, like, I just went to a recent wedding and everybody looks the same, like all the guys. And of course there's more limited options for men because it's like a suit and, you know, like a bow tie or maybe a tie. I think a tie is a little bit, honestly, my perspective is a little bit too casual for an event like that. But anyway, but what, you know, one of the cast members, was it for Black Panther? He wore sort of like shawls or a scarf around his shoulder. I thought that was cool. Um, but yeah, at the wedding that I went to, I wore like a Mandarin collar linen shirt and like a old and vintage kimono, Japanese kimono. But there's not a lot of options for guys, and I think you just gotta, you know, you gotta get creative or go with what really feels good to you. Another one of my favorites in terms of fashion was Gemma Chan, who's in Crazy Rich Asians. Did you see her pink dress? And okay, so
Yes.
aside from it, like she's one of, I responded to the post on Instagram with that dress, her wearing that dress, and I put, you are one of the most graceful human beings to ever like grace the earth. And one thing I love so much was her secret was that dress, that big flowy pink dress had pockets, so she was like, events like this, in her accent, what kind of accent does she have? I don't even know. But anyway, so she was like, is that I get to you know, I get to stuff my cookie up in in the pocket, and then the other side, British. Thanks, Kevin. So then I'll spare you the British accent, darling. And then the other pocket, she's like, I had a rice cookie, and I was like, oh my god, a rice cracker.
So she doesn't have to starve, because she probably was starving for 2 weeks trying to get in the dress. So now that she's on the carpet, she's like,
no, you know, like, let me play devil's advocate, but to what you just said. But if you saw, I don't know if you saw the dress, but the dress was really flowy and big. So that's a really good, like, if you're pregnant trying to hide your pregnancy dress, that would be great, you know. Timothy says, I love what he said to Entertainment Tonight. I have to give style for the children he lived. That's so true.
Yes. And I love what Jane said about the men next year need to step it up. We need to see more capes and more drama from the men. Definitely. I agree with that.
You know, which remind, when you said cape, I have one cape and I have one sort of like emperor-esque cloak thing with the gold clasp on the neck. And I'm still trying to figure out where to wear that to.
Where you wear that?
But maybe one day on the red carpet, me and you. But yeah, what do you have? Do you have your, like, one day I'm gonna wear?
No. One day for me is sweats and a t-shirt and night.
Oh yeah.
So somebody has to dress me for all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Somebody has to pull it together.
Oh, Timothy said wear it next week.
I didn't get that gene.
Timothy said wear it next week.
But my late friend Prince from Chicago, who I used to work with in Chicago, he had this really nice cloak, and he would wear it to high tea.
Whoa! Did I meet him on the street with you when I was there? Was that him? He was.
No. That was my friend Devin. Hey, Devin.
Devin, big, beautiful, tall black man. And, like, he was wearing this black wrap that I was like, damn.
Yeah, he would wear something like that too. Devin.
Yes, I love it. I love fashion so much because I grew up poor. I love interiors and like aesthetics so much because I grew up poor, but I think it came from my mom's mom, my grandmother, who was always like totally like super chic. Anyway, I just love that it is a way, fashion is a way for you to express yourself and all that flair. So
make you feel better and make you dump the hump. That's what okay. Wear fashion. Make outfits that make you feel good.
Dump the hump. Okay, so today we're talking about anxiety. So let me scroll up here my notes real quick. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how we deal with our anxieties. And let me start off by asking you a question, since you travel so much. We both travel a lot, but you like are the king of travel. And my question to you is, you travel so much, how do you dump the baggage that comes with delays and long lines and, you know, just other travelers who are not aware and ratchet?
First of all, I understand what I'm getting into. So I walk into, you know, when I get to the airport for a commercial flight, I just have to surrender, because I know, you know, if things move along smoothly, then that's a blessing. But I know that there's so many variables. So I don't go in with the expectation everything's going to go smoothly. It's nice and I'm appreciative when it does, but I just have to be flexible. I just have to go in with a flexible attitude. So once I have that mindset, I can proceed through the airport. And just because I think because I travel at such frequency, I understand that things happen and what they mean. Where someone who this might be their first time traveling,
Yeah.
or they might not understand the nuances of how many, moving parts are actually in place to getting you from point A to point B. And when something goes awry, they kind of freak out because they're not used to it or understanding. They don't necessarily understand. So for me, it's just having a flexible mindset going into the airport. It's like, ciao. And airlines have gotten a lot better about communicating with customers when there are issues. So downloading apps, getting the notifications for your flight, for delays, anything like that. If your bag doesn't connect now. So the technology helps alleviate a lot of that anxiety that we used to have.
And, we're just talking about design earlier, just a moment ago in the last segment too. And, the design of airports and how the luggage, the baggage handling, and how you greeted at the, like at the front counter, like that all goes into play. And I was going to ask you, I've been meaning to ask you, I saw this special series on Netflix, it's an original that's called City in the Sky. Did you watch that?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It is pretty amazing. I think everybody should watch it because it just really goes to show that how much goes on and how many layers and how much thought is put into from right when you set foot into the well, first of all, the traffic, but then when you set foot into the airport itself and getting into lines and how they have the zigzag instead of a one long line and what that does to your psyche, and then how the baggage is handled behind the scenes. And one of the things, since you and I are seasoned travelers, one of the things that I try to keep in mind, because we ain't got children, or we've or pets, but people, people sometimes get a little unruly, or because of maybe their inexperience in traveling, they're just like, they don't take their laptop out, don't take off their shoes, and it holds up the line. So I really try to have like a compassionate perspective. But even before getting to the airport, one of the things that I learned earlier on in my travels is I remember that I would always be so stressed out, like for maybe a Monday flight, and it's only Saturday. So I realized that it was ruining my weekend by worrying about things that aren't even going to happen yet. If there's a delay, kind of like, oh, well, you know what? You just read a book. There's, you have your, books or your iPads, unless you're trying to digitally detox. There's podcasts. There's so many things that you could do. Jump on a phone call, talk to people, maybe look around and talk to the people around you. But
find somewhere good to eat.
Right?
I'm just saying.
Me too. Yeah, basically. And no, that's really only if you're in really good airports, because some airports are nothing to eat recently in one of the airports.
They don't have good things to eat.
Newark, New Jersey, that airport is not cute. Anyway, I know, right? There was nothing to eat there. I was like, okay, I'm going to start my intermittent fasting right now, a day early. Anyway.
You must have not have been in the main United terminal. The main United terminal.
No, I was in the old terminal. It's not the new one, no. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no. The new terminal has some great food. They have like a plethora of choices. Okay. But that's only on one concourse.
So in terms of like, that's what I take that whole idea of not worrying about what hasn't happened yet. That's one of the ways I deal with sort of my travel anxieties, and I actually try to implement that, or have been implementing it in my own life, and thinking about, well, if I'm not worried about this job or where my next meal is coming from or whatever, like if I'm not worried about this next thing, then I can be more in the present moment. And when those delays in life do come, and weathering the storms do come, what I think is, what is it? You and I talk about this all the time, going back to your breath right away. And what is this trying to teach me? And it really, I know that it's all in the way how I react to something and give it thought and give that power. So that helps quell some of the anxieties for me.
Some of the anxiety. Yeah, I try to detach. I try to pull back when I feel, because really I have to acknowledge that the anxiety is created because I am like adding fire and adding fuel to my fear of whatever it is. So that creates anxiety because you don't necessarily know, and that's a little different from nervousness. But when you just obsess and turn over your life to your fear of a situation or something, it's going to create anxiety, and that's going to have effects on you mentally and physically. So I wouldn't necessarily I try to find some way, like you say, go to your breath, or to some way to detach or to recognize that I'm really in a state of
Yeah.
fear and about the anxiety. And once I can breathe and have a different situation, a different mindset about the situation, then things you usually find. Hey,
Hey, Nikki.
Nikki.
Hey, Timothy says here, anxiety. I try to practice acceptance. It's not always easy, however, when practice, the situation becomes easier. Yes, that's true. When you practice it, like that reminds me of one of my favorite books, and from one of my favorite authors, Eckhart Tolle, who wrote A New Earth. And he says, it is what it is. And once you realize that, it is what it is, and you know
It
that
just is what it is.
and you
Yeah.
can't change
Yeah.
it, then at the moment, then you know what, you just work through it. And he talks about how, like, if it's snowing where Timothy's at in Chicago, um, and you get a flat tire, you can get pissed off. It's not going to help the situation, or you can call to, AAA or your insurance company to get somebody to come help you, or you slowly get out your car, change a tire, or do what you need to do. But
Right. To move on.
scientific studies do show that when you are stressed out about something that is not happening right now, like you're looking for, like at some sort of situation that's happening in the future, then you actually are going through that experience, and your body is receiving all that stress at the moment.
Yeah, and then you can't control that. Yes, you have to. I mean, you can't control that situation. You can control how you respond to it. You can try to pre-plan for it all you want, but how many times do things go according to
Yeah.
plan? Usually
Yeah.
never. So if you don't have some type of flexibility, you're gonna be crazy. You're gonna stress yourself out into like craziness. So you've got to have some type of flexibility when it comes to certain things, especially if they're stressing you out like that. You got to listen, like, it is what it is, like we said.
And I have to tell you too that there have been times when I've seen, either on your social media or we've been talking on the phone and you're traveling and for work or whatever, and there are like really crazy delays, or somebody calls in sick or whatever, like whatever happens, you can insert that situation, and you are at first are like, and then you retract right away. And I think that's the practice.
Yeah.
It's not like we're perfect and all the time we're going to be like Nikki says, yes, it is what it is sometimes, but sometimes you can change things. And there is that flight or fight mentality that is ingrained in us to live, to survive in this world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's okay to experience the emotion. Like, you're frustrated because something's not going the way you want. Okay, it's okay to feel that frustration. Just don't get stuck there. And that's what most people do. Like, you start feeding on that place of that negativity, and then it starts snowballing, and then suddenly your whole life is crumbling. And you just had a flat tire. So how'd you get from a flat tire to the ER? You know, it's like, come on. So you have to balance that. So it's okay to feel it. It's okay to acknowledge. I find it's okay to acknowledge the feeling, but after that, wrap it up and move on.
Hey, Rich. So one more to close out that segment. Timothy says, sometimes when you let go, it turns out better than expected. Turn your frown upside down, boo. And that's so true. One of my favorite quotes is, when you hold on, you get dragged. Anyway, okay, let's drag our booties into this next segment 3. Boo. Talk to ToLo. This is where you guys ask us questions, or we have a couple of also questions that have been in our periphery here. A question that I got from B in San Francisco, who's, I know, in his early 30s, had said, he's in a management position, and he says, I have a lot of anxiety around my job, and I wish I could just leave work and all the dramas and forget all about it when I get home. But even when he gets home at night and on the weekends, he cannot let go. How do y'all let go of that anxiety?
Yeah, you've got to find a physical outlet. I don't know if he works out.
Yeah, he works out. Yeah, for sure. He's actually, he works out a lot.
Hike?
Yep.
So why are you obsessing? You got to find something to obsess, something else to obsess over after work. I don't know. Obsess over your passion.
Yeah.
Something. You got to find some way to distract yourself from letting your mind just constantly just play that loop in your head of what's going on at work, because that will kill you.
Yeah.
So
you know what?
You've got to find a release.
Yeah. Having something to look forward to does help. And there's no really one set answer for that, because we all are wired differently. But I know the way you and I are wired, and a lot of human beings are wired too, is that, we have our tribe. are people that we reach out to when things go down, right? Or and not to dwell on that topic, but say, hey, call them. This is what's going on. Blah blah blah. I just need to get that off my chest. Bye, and then move on and forward. I think that's
Yeah.
definitely very important to do. And like you said, having other things to look forward to, like working out. Maybe you have a boo thing that can help you get that stress off your mind. Go, like you said, going into nature really helps. There's a lot of different ways. Reading a book. One of the things that really helps me is that I try to think about when that stress happens or that anxiety, I automatically go to, okay, um, all the things that I've talked about, like maybe do I reach out to a friend depending on the situation? Do I need to walk in silence on the beach or in nature or walk down the street? And sometimes it's just turning on music, tuning into different vibrations. Sometimes it's listening to a podcast. Sometimes I love listening to commencement speeches. Oprah has one. Ellen.
Well, yeah, it depends. Some of them I listen
Yeah,
to.
Oprah
Yeah,
and Ellen.
some of them.
Oh, it's funny because I didn't even see this one. Timothy.
What James says about watch Oprah reruns and then read the
I
magazine.
do.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's so funny because as I was talking, I was so focused that I wasn't reading these. And Rich says, take time to look for something else. Timothy says,
time for something. Richie's like, move on. Yeah, and I agree with Rich there because if you're obsessing over your job 24/7 and it's like, to the point where you don't have a life, then it's time to it's time to start looking at some other options. Why are you in a situation that and be honest with yourself, that is like life consuming? No job is supposed to do that.
Yep. And if it is, you got to rethink and rethink how you react to it, or rethink the job if it's really consuming you that much.
Is it really a fit? Right.
We're getting some really good feedback here. Thanks, y'all. Rich says, yes, phone a friend, boo. I know you and Rich always are messing each other positive things. You and I always do that. Timothy says, yeah, meditation for show. I've been trying to practice meditation every morning. Even if we've talked about it before, even if it's 10 breaths, you got time for 10 breaths. Come on now. If you don't, there's something.
Yeah. And that's what I say, just start with the goal of a minute. Just a minute. I was just having a conversation with a manager at my corporation, and she was talking about how she went to yoga and how she couldn't relax because she had a lot of anxiety. And I just kept telling her, I said, stop beating yourself up. Just try for 1 minute. If you're in the class for an hour, just try stillness or to be in the moment for 1 minute, and then build on that. And that's really, you can really do it for a minute. If you take an hour out of your calendar to do whatever exercise it is, whether it's yoga or meditation, you just focus on trying to get 1 minute of that hour into that space of Zen or peace where you actually just step away from.
For sure. And I love that, Rich says here, stop giving attention to your negative energy and get a pet, try gardening. So what's funny is on my Insta.
Yeah, that's not my
but that's what I'm saying. That might not help you, but it might help others. But you know what?
I love that.
I really believe that animals are really in the present moment. Animals, children, and elderly are closest to spirit world, so they know what's up. But I saw this awesome Instagram meme that I actually posted on my Insta stories, and there's a calendar, and it said every day it said it's a great day, every day, and it said says the dog or something like that. This is like a dog's life, right? And I just really, really do love that because, there are gems and beautiful things to be aware of and be present for every day, because good things the sun is coming up. You have your breath, even if it goes down to those basics. I just believe that when you focus on those things, the gratitude for the abundance, more comes. It's just the way the universe works. And yesterday I was texting with a friend after dinner about some topic, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get off now because I need to digitally detox, get off this phone, and then write in my gratitude journal. And I'm like, yes, I do practice what I preach. So you and I keep gratitude journals, and even if it's writing down 5 things that you're grateful for, it really shifts your mind frame. And this, it shifts your mind frame.
Rich and
you're looking for things that are positive, and you're paying attention.
You start looking for the things.
Yeah.
Rich Cruz and I, and actually Cruz photo was somebody you should follow if you have anxiety, because his sunset pictures will definitely put you at ease. He takes these glorious pictures of the sunset every day. And it's like he's so passionate about it. But when you see these beautiful images every day, it's different. Even though he might be on the same beach,
Yep.
it's just each sunset is so different. And just the image of that always relaxes
Yeah.
me. But he and I have been gratitude partners for a couple of years now. We took this course with Ariana Huffington and started writing in our journals. And then we had to have an accountability partner. And we just kept doing it after the class was over. So sometimes that might help. Find somebody else that you can just
I
share
like that.
5 things that you're grateful
Yeah.
with every day and go back
Yeah.
to sleeping, which I think I owe him for yesterday. They're coming,
Rich, by the way, I
sure.
always take a deep breath. Like, I always look at your photos when I see them on social, and I'm like, oh, it gives me that one moment to like sort of reboot or just to stop. So, you know, like, and focus on the present moment. And it's a great reminder. So I really appreciate that. And Rich says here, what if today was your last day on earth and you spent it worrying about needless stuff you can't control?
Don't do
Amen.
that. I just lost a friend. I just found out yesterday. A very good friend that I've known over 20 years passed away Sunday. I know he like got sick a couple of months ago, but I thought it was over. I didn't realize it was like life threatening. And it's just like, wow, today he's not
Yeah.
here. And I know but he wasn't a negative type of person. He was definitely, living his life to the fullest each day. But that makes total sense. What if this was your last day?
Mm-hmm.
What if this was your last day?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to sit up worrying about somebody, a job. Do you think when you get done, they're going to be talking about, oh, well, so-and-so was worried about this all his life?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Trust me, boy. I've given one too many eulogies in my life, and never did I or anybody ever get up there and say, you know what, Bob, he worked a lot. He never called in sick.
He came to work every day on time. He got the perfect attendance award. He was stressed out. We drove our insurance premiums up. Like something on
Yeah, Rich says sorry for your loss.
No,
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss too. I saw that.
thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I've gotten a lot of love today. That's been really nice. But it's just been kind of jarring. Last night was rough.
It's just a great reminder,
But
like you said, that moments like this where you and I have with one another, and even you guys, sending your love and your energy this way, like we feel it and we receive it. So thank you so much. Okay, now let's talk about talking about spending more time with folks you love, digital detox. And you know what? When I was in New York recently for a speaking gig, and I was everywhere I went, when I was like shopping, window shopping, or like talking to the other customers or the people working there. Oh my God, everybody seems like they're talking about detoxing and how the phone is really getting into our psyche and how it's so stressful and ah! And so Kevin, our producer, was
don't I know it?
he let me see here, Kevin, if you're able to post this please below so the viewers can check it out. So there is a website that you can go to, and it's this Friday that there's a challenge, and it's called nationaldayofunplugging.com. And the fact that we even need that is pretty sad, but we really do need it. You and I do. Let's be real. So yeah, so what they're asking you to do is, I actually signed up. I went in, and because you have to sign in to the website and give your email, and then you have to, then they send you this email, and then you download to verify your email, and then you download the kind of toolkits on other things you could do with your family and friends other than unplugging. And it's asking you to unplug from your devices, namely your iPads, or and your phones. And it's, what I like about it is it's sort of flexible in that it's like asking you to get off of it. If you're so addicted and you can't get off for 24 hours like it's asking, maybe it's 2 hours, maybe it's 12 hours. But I thought that was pretty awesome, and they are asking you to unplug starting March 1st to the 2nd. So if y'all having some issues like we are, it might be a good idea to try to do it. Friday, I don't think I really have much on my calendars. Just I have to do a bunch of computer stuff. So I'm thinking, not computer stuff, but work and a little bit of computer stuff. So maybe I can try to. But that's the thing. It's like you unplug from one device, your phone, and then it's just like we gotta work. You gotta be on your computer.
But at least if I pull back off of the social media stuff, I'm gonna try. I don't know if I'm gonna go the whole day, but I have a spa day booked on Saturday, so I'm doing the whole massage facial. So I will not have my phone during that time. So that'll be half of the day. But maybe I'll do half a day Saturday, half a day Friday.
Hey,
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
You do you, boo. Whatever works.
I'm gonna try.
Right? Whatever works for you. But I have to say that I just fall in and out, and I guess it's okay, right? I mean, I just can't beat myself up for it. Like, so, you know, like yesterday after dinner, I was like on this text thread, and I was just like, and then I really noticed it. And that's the key here, is you're gonna fall in and out of mindfulness and awareness and present momentness. So you just got to, if you're on the right track,
when you catch yourself, right, and then
you're
start
checking yourself.
changing your behavior.
Yes. And that's the key.
Yes, indeed.
Like, practice that.
Right.
Anyway, okay, our time is up, y'all, and let's digitally detox off of this device here. So if you like what you see, please share it. And thanks, guys, for chiming in. There's a lot of great discussion today. Lots of wisdom.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a good one. We'll see you next week sometime.
Okay. Bye, Lonnell. Mwah. See you guys.
Bye-bye.